The next generation of Xbox has had its release date actually leaked, and the Xbox plans for the next 12 months have seemingly been found out, and it's looking insanely good for Team Green. There have been a ton of Xbox and gaming news that has occurred over this past week, and I'll cover as much as I can in today's video. If you're new here or just returning though, my name is Fletcher, and this is Xbox Nation. I do cover things from Xbox news, reviews and updates, and so much more on a daily basis. So if you do want to keep up to date about all things Xbox, then hit that subscribe button down below. But with that, let's dive right into the Xbox news that has been occurring over this past week. First up, it is totally worth noting that Xbox have finally announced the Wave 1 lineup for Xbox Game Pass this February, and it was yet again another stacked one for us to dive into. There have been a total of about 14 games now which have been announced for Xbox Game Pass in February so far, and for me, the three major highlights of course have to be High on Life 2, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, and Madden NFL 26. I do have to say though that I should have some reviews out for both Star Sand Island and Kingdom Come Deliverance in the next few days, and I should have one out as well for High on Life 2 pretty shortly after its launch, just in case you're wondering about any of the performance and all of that lovely info. If you do want to check out the full video about the games coming though, I did cover it a couple of days ago here on the channel. In addition to these new games though, we also got a game which I totally forgot to mention in that last video, but Microsoft isn't actually mentioning it right now either. It was for the console release of Death Howl, and it should arrive on the 19th February. Alongside that, just one game is leaving Xbox Game Pass as well in early February as things stand, and that's going to be Madden NFL 24. Again, if you do want a complete roundup of everything coming to Xbox Game Pass in 2026, then do check out the video with the card on screen now or in the description down below. As you may have seen yesterday though, Nintendo held a special partner direct showcase featuring some cool third-party games that are soon heading to Switch and also Switch 2, but a few of them are also heading to our Xbox consoles in the near future. This includes the likes of the Super Bomberman collection, which is out actually today, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. One game which wasn't included was Planet of Lana 2, but it's big news as it finally got dated for Xbox Game Pass, and it will be coming on the 5th of March and day one into the service. What I've done though is I've just chucked up the list on screen now of the games that were announced thanks to the gents over at Pure Xbox for highlighting them, and as you can see we do have some lovely new titles here alongside some more info about the existing titles as well. I know many of you will be excited for the likes of Super Bomberman, and I don't really blame you. It seems like a pretty decent collection. I've never really been a massive fan of that franchise, so I'm happy for all of you who are looking forward to it, but I'm probably going to skip it for now anyway. In terms of the games that I'm personally excited for, I just cannot wait for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I'm so glad that we have a full release date for this one now. The listing over on the Xbox store at the moment also provides a lovely little discount as well, including some extra sort of exclusive limited time rewards for pre-ordering as well. I believe the game is about 35 quid here in the UK and about $40 over for you in the US, and to be honest, it'll be a decent price right out of the gates. I will no doubt cover the launch of this nearer the time alongside sort of performance and also reviews, so make sure to subscribe down below, but at least it gives us some time now to play through the 7 remake before it finally arrives. 2026 is undoubtedly a very stacked year for Team Green, and honestly their first party game lineup is looking insane. We already know that Forza Horizon 6 will be arriving in May, and then Fable is slated to arrive sometime this fall, but you may be curious about that rest of the lineup. Well, The Verge's Tom Warren has shed some more light in a new report as of yesterday, and he pointed out there's a very big effort internally for Microsoft to release obviously the new Forza, Fable, Gears and Halo games on time in 2026. And to be honest, that really signals a massive win for Xbox if they can succeed with this. Warren says that Halo Combat Evolved is aiming to launch in sometime in summer 2026 as things stand, while Gears of War E-Day is actually scheduled for some point in the second half of this year, with Xbox actually being keen to avoid being too close to GTA 6. And to be honest, I don't blame them. That game is going to be an absolute entertainment mammoth. Beyond the big four though, we are obviously going to be seeing Double Fine's Kiln. It's slated to be released sometime in April 2026, and during that month we should also see some brand new Starfield content. If you remember, we first heard about the planned improvements for Starfield back in December time, and then earlier today it was slated that a PS5 release could happen in April as well. Finally, the other potential major release that Warren mentions for 2026 is the Fallout 3 remaster, but although he does mention that it's in active development, it actually isn't confirming to a 2026 launch, mentioning that Bethesda is kind of keen to ensure it's all well polished and a surprise release like we saw with the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered like we saw last year. So it sounds like Xbox is pretty serious about trying to make sure that the 4 horsemen of the Xbox apocalypse release this year. There's plenty more stuff potentially going on the way as well. We've got a ton more of day one titles being added to Game Pass coming to Xbox, and we should even hear about some more hardware. Talking about some good stuff on the way though, I bet you might be wondering about that next generation console. There have been a few rumors, of course, swirling around this week about Xbox potentially delaying their next-gen console, and that's out of the 2027 window and into 2028 or beyond. But that rumor no longer seems to be correct. Since then, AMD have actually come out and hinted that a 2027 launch is very possible. As part of their latest earnings call, AMD CEO Lisa Su specifically mentioned that development was progressing well on the next generation of Xbox consoles, and they're set to arrive on 2027. More specifically, she actually stated that development of Microsoft's next-gen Xbox featuring an AMD semi-custom SoC is progressing well to support a launch in 2027. I will of course just urge you all to take that on a side of caution here. It's no means a confirmed release year for the next Xbox console, considering especially the amount of concerns around RAM shortages and potentially stuff also happening in terms of price rises for GPUs and new hardware right now. But it does actually give us our first indication that Xbox has been targeting that sort of 2027 window for a potential launch date. As mentioned earlier, Tom Warren from The Verge had more details on his report other than the next generation news, and he also revealed that Microsoft's next-gen Xbox controller revision is coming this year, after it was originally cancelled in 2024 when plans reportedly changed over at Xbox HQ. Many of you will already know by now about the massive news that was running amok regarding the Xbox Several controller revision a few years back, and it does sound as though that some form of new pad will be released here in 2026. Warren does state that the year's revised controller includes Wi-Fi connectivity to reduce Xbox cloud gaming latency, and to be honest, I'm actually quite for that, as my controllers and sort of cloud gaming setup really isn't that great. The report doesn't go into detail though about those old Several features that we heard about back in 2023, that being sort of haptic feedback, modular thumbsticks, or a rechargeable battery. For now, all The Verge is reporting on is that improved latency feature. Of course, it would be a bit amiss to sort of have no haptic features. I know that's been one requested and sorely highly rated feature across some of the PlayStation 5 generation, so I have no doubt that Xbox will be probably taking that into the next gen as well. Finally, the report did also name drop Jez Corden of Windows Central, previously reporting on the Elite Series 3 controller potentially coming this year, but doesn't go as far as corroborating any of that info. Warren did state that the Elite Series 3 would align with a rollout of a next generation Xbox controller, if indeed that is coming in 2026. I do want to know how you feel about this news though. Are you going to be excited about next gen, and are you going to get a next generation Xbox controller if it does come this year? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below, as I'm really excited personally about that next gen system. After a very lengthy delay and plenty of controversy to go along with it, Black Myth Wukong finally launched onto Xbox as of last summer, exactly 1 year later than the PlayStation 5 release. Since then, the Xbox faithful have been seemingly pretty happy with it, at least going off the Microsoft Store rating at least, and it's now received its first digital discount since its launch day. Indeed, if you head over to the Xbox Store page for Black Myth as of right now, the game has a roughly 25% discount for the next 3 weeks. The action RPG did have a pre-launch Xbox discount prior to its release in August, but this discount is actually better than that first one. I did actually mention the game in my sales video as of yesterday, but I just had to highlight it again as its promotion is pretty great. I also doubt we'll see this game reduced down in any price anytime soon after this, so it's probably worth picking up if you have a chance in this 3-week window. It is safe to say that Crimson Desert is just so highly anticipated right now, and if you're like me, you're probably just soaking up all the info as it drops. Well, the developer, Pearl Abyss, has recently been given a March release date, and thanks to the game's Xbox Store listing, we now know that this game will support Xbox Play Anywhere at its launch next month. That's right, Crimson Desert arrives for Xbox Series X and S consoles and also PC on the 19th of March 2026, and has been tagged up as an Xbox Play Anywhere compatible title on the Xbox Store. Of course, this is the initiative that Xbox has been pushing quite a lot lately, in the wake of its branded Asus ROG Ally system, and it's great to see another big game jumping onto that Xbox Play Anywhere bandwagon here in 2026. Alongside that though, there was also another massive info drop this week regarding the combat and also progression systems within Crimson Desert, and the devs have now confirmed you can indeed dual wield weapons and even travel around the world of Pywall on the back of a ferocious bear. Honestly, the game just keeps getting better and better. I cannot wait to see how it fares close to launch. I'm a little bit skeptical still, but everything I'm seeing so far looks utterly fantastic. I would be keen to hear your thoughts though down below, and do smash that like button if you enjoyed today's news video. Make sure to also subscribe as well, as I'll be uploading more Xbox content over the coming weeks, including a lot of reviews as well, and do make sure to check out the video on screen now if you do want to check out those amazing Xbox sales which you can take part of over the next week.